and I got a call that my house was on fire. And so I left work quickly, and by the time I had gotten to our house, the fire department was there already working on putting out the fire. So I mean, you never plan on it, so it's time and unforeseen occurrences that happen to anybody. Like ours was an electrical fire. Well, you don't know what's behind your walls, how old the wiring is, how rodents could have chewed through the insulation, and that's how they call it carbon arcing, where the wires started arcing back and forth. That's what the fire marshal said, that started the fire, because he actually found the two wires kind of soldered or fused together.
And I was just walking into my bedroom to pull a shade, and I tripped on my cedar chest at the end of the bed, and somehow I stumbled forward and hit my head against, luckily it was a drywall, but it was a very loud noise. My husband came running in from the kitchen, and it takes a lot to get him upset. And he said, "My goodness, what did you do?" Because he heard the sound. He called, and they were there within minutes. I have said for years, being a professional nurse, when the time comes that I want the EMTs there, I want you to be able to do as much as you can, whether it's defibrillating, shocking, starting IVs, giving whatever medications you can. Minutes and seconds count.
When the fire department contacted us, if there was anything we could do, we were obviously glad for any service that they could provide us. Didn't know what they could provide us, but a number of gentlemen came out, a number of guys came out. They were fully prepared to go to work. They had gear, safety protection, all of that. And it was very easily, you could identify it right away. They were heavily trained, highly trained, if you will. And were able to do anything from operate heavy machinery to help us unpile twisted piles of metal, to equipment that we drug out of the building that we had to relocate to other operations to get back up and running. And the effort that they gave us was significant and really helped us shorten our period of downtime and get back up and running so we could service our customers.
I do believe that is a key factor in a firefighter's job, is that when they become a firefighter, I'm sure they go through strenuous training, but there's that mindset that gets in your mind when you're working with people that you have helped save from a fire, or given or collected toys for needy kids. And then because they do distribute some of the toys here, or the gifts here, they get to see the parents who are overjoyed that their children would have gifts for Christmas that year, and they cry and they hug you, and they write thank you notes, and they really pour out their hearts and tell them how important it is what they've been given, and it's not expected. And so I think a firefighter's mentality is always there on the outlook, looking for whenever they can be needed. So I think in order to have a good community, that's what we need. Lots of people who are looking out for their fellow man and sister and brother, and being able to meet the needs that whenever they come, not just maybe in the fire station.
My son got very ill, and he was up at the walk-in, and it just seemed like he had a bad infection. So they were going to keep him for the weekend, and then things kind of went south on him, and they called the Flight for Life to take him to Marshfield, but because of the weather, they couldn't get him there by helicopter, so they called the Merrill EMS, and they got him there. And they had to do it fast because it was just a very short time. He needed surgery, or things wouldn't have ended up as good as they did. I understand that everybody has budget concerns. The cost of everything is going up. But when people start thinking about cutting emergency services, I understand there's areas that can be cut, but you can't cut down your fire department and your ambulance no more than you can any other emergency services, because it'd be a heck of a thing if you called them and nobody showed up.
We could see the smoke coming from our house, and it seemed like a really long time that we were waiting, but it actually wasn't at all. And the fire department got there, and they saved our house from burning. I remember them telling us that we had 5 minutes until the house was completely just down, and we would have lost everything if we didn't have the fire department here. And I don't know, they came so quickly. So after that 5 minutes made such a difference.
I had a cardiac arrest, which means that my heart stopped. And when your heart stops, everything has to move very quickly. The fire department was right there. The people were on deck and revived me, transported me to the hospital. Well, life is worth that, you know, I guess. I dislike paying taxes myself as much as the next person, but the fact remains that I wouldn't be here to pay them and complain about them otherwise. So.
We started getting our stuff together. My water broke. That's when Cole called the ambulance, and they were there within 3 minutes. And before the ambulance got there, I was pushing. I looked down and I see her body, and I just kind of freaked out. I didn't know what to do, actually. I was just overwhelmed. That's when the EMT came in, Mike Drury, and he told me to push. I pushed her head out, and he brought her to me. He brought her to life, and I don't know, it's scary. I don't know. I am very grateful that they came when they did, and because I have my daughter now. You never know what's going to happen in the community, and in my case, for example, if they weren't there within 3 minutes, my daughter would be dead. And it's important to have a full-time fire service, emergency service in any case like that, because you never know.